Alright, I once again got asked to review a game, and so here we are. Since the last cast, I tweaked some settings, mostly my audio settings, and also, as you might be able to tell, there's no longer the white bar for the window on top of the screen, but instead two smaller black bars around the top and bottom of the video because it's centered, so maybe that's better, I don't know. Either way, let's get right into it. Maybe slow it down a bit. As you can see, this is a 3v3 on a apparently 12k map, and it is a matchmaker game with a generated map. On Team 1, Team 1 up here. On Team 1, in the air slot, we have Fleischesser, who is starting off with T1 land as UAF. Then, to his south, in red, there is, I'm gonna call him Kaich, or something like that. Kaich 35, I will tag that as an I, might be an L, I don't know. Going first land as a red Cybran. And finally, for Team 1, we have another UAF with Windrunner, also going first land in a slightly darker shade of red. As for Team 2, in the front, we have Rehakels going first land as a blue Aeon. And to his south, we have Pikaman also going first land. No, wait, going first air. I'm already messing up my casting. Going first air as a dark blue Aeon. And finally, on the southern side, we have in the air slot, Rowie going first air, first land, god damn it, as a purple Aeon. So Team 2 consisting entirely of Aeon, while Team 1 has two UAF, one Cybran. Anyway, let's get back up to normal game speed, and also, yeah, I slightly reduced my zoom speed to maybe make my zooming less frantic, and I will try to refrain from too much zooming in, but that ship might have already sailed with that introduction. Either way, currently everyone's just setting up, getting their stuff started, going for hydros where possible, and otherwise just getting some NGs out to claim all their base maxes. Let's maybe jump up to +1 for the time being, because yeah, this seems to be a bit of a slower start. Though Fleischesser is already walking a bit and apparently just getting some reclaim, which I failed to show. There seems to be a lot of reclaim, overall a total of, I don't know why that reclaim thingy is broken for me, but that's 27k reclaim on the map, slowly decreasing. If any of you have any idea why that reclaim thing might be broken, I have tried reinstalling that reclaim counter mod and it didn't actually work. Just leave it in the comments or something. Would be much appreciated. Either way, I think it's time to go back to normal speed, more or less, and Rowie already got getting out some air scouts to get a look at the enemy team, while the northern scouting is getting done by Windrunner with his air scouts now out. Also, Windrunner pushing forward his ACU and claiming those 3 maxes south of his base, which are already claimed for Pikaman in his opposing slot. already hear some stuff that will probably maybe just some AA putting down those scouts by Roe. But Pekaman already out with an early bomber, trying to, I'm guessing, yes, trying to harass those side NGs who are currently in the process of building spam factories for Windrunner. And he successfully took out those NGs, leaving Windrunner with 2 unfinished land factories and no actual spam factories done on his side. While I need to get used to also panning controls. While Pekaman has already finished up the first of his land factory and is queuing up, as far as I can tell, a pretty standard layout for Aeon units. So far, not a whole lot of fighting, maybe a few shutdown interceptors and also that bomber that got shot, which got shot down. But I mean, we are still in the early stages of the game, and this is actually, as you might be able to tell by the what's it called? Either way, as you can tell by the video length, this is more of a longer game. Clocking in at around an hour and consisting of some very interesting stuff later on in the game. Pekaman down here already busy reclaiming the civilian base, with the opposing civilian base just still left untouched because Windrunner is still set on getting his spam factories up and running, with some replacement engineers now arriving on scene. Up on the top, we currently have Couch. Okay, fine. I said I was gonna interpret it as an I, but I'm pretty sure that might also just be an L, so would be Couch, I guess. Couch setting up a forward base in like near the diagonal split of the map, and the civilian base for Fleischesser or for Team 1 in the top is already reclaimed, while on the southern side that exact same civilian base has for now just been ignored, bringing the reclaim of those up to 1 per team. Overall though, currently Couch just amassing some Mantis, and on the opposing side of on the opposite side of the map, Pekaman currently just getting some of his units out, but so far, once again, not much happening. Yes, I know. A bit hard to... I'm still trying to get used to commenting on that stuff. Overall, Team 1 currently ahead by about 7k mass at 7 minutes 40, and air-wise, Fleischesser currently sitting on T2 air and a quarter of the way done to his T3 air, while Roe is currently currently building a T2 transport. Nope, just air scouts and inties or something out of his T2 air factory. So Team 1 will probably get to T3 air first, but we'll have to see how that pans out. Also, let's have a look at reclaim numbers. Fleischesser leading the chart with 4.2k reclaim, followed by his teammates with Windrunner with 3.5k and Kelch with 3.7k. Vehicles for Team 2 also sitting at 3.6k, and 3.2k for Rory and 2.1k for Pikaman. Stop jumping around, stupid scoreboard. Overall mass income currently looking somewhat balanced, more or less, with Team 2 having a mere 7 or 6 mass lead. That might also just be fluctuations due to reclaim. So overall, Eco currently quite balanced, though Team 1 has extended their total mass lead to about 10k now. Gun speed and range going up for Kelch, and also gun damage and range going up for Fleischesser, while gun speed in the south going up for Pikaman. Well, it looks like Vehicles is gonna have quite a bit to deal with 2 comms on the north and a noticeable T1 army that somewhat outnumbers his own. And ooh, what is that? What is that? It's a drop. It's a drop out by Pikaman. Are those NGs or nope? Those are fervors. Fervor drop out by Pikaman going. Where is it going? Going to the backlines of Windrunner. Maybe not, maybe not. Rescheduled to the main base of Windrunner. Let's see if he actually gets the drop. And he does, but the fervors run immediately into monkeys and some strikers, so they don't really get off any reasonable amount of damage. Also interesting to see that Windrunner is going for mongoose instead of pillars, which means he'll have to micro them appropriately to stay at range, to not waste their potential. Windrunner apparently started shield and immediately cancelled it, instead going for gun damage and range, which will be finished rather soon with quite a bit of assistance on his comm. T2 going out for Vehicles comm, and currently the north is looking in favor of, Team 1 with their larger army and also their higher unit count, larger army and also 2 comms on 1. Also, something worth noting is that for the southern team, for Team 2, the western civilian base still hasn't been reclaimed, and I'm not sure how much reclaim that actually is, but it probably is quite a bit. Now, here we have Kelch engaging Vehicles, who just finished his T2 upgrade and has to fall back due to the overwhelming army of Kelch, with Fleischesser just moving some units behind for an, I'm guessing, attempted run-by that will get detected by scouts overhead, so that's not going to do a whole lot, except maybe a bit of a pincer maneuver. But it does seem like a lot of Kelch's forces are being picked off by the ever-increasing amount of Eruptors that Vehicles is currently spamming up with his T2 comm. So the forces for Kelch are rapidly declining, with him now having to rely on his comm, while Rowie also has some Spectre gunships out. Let's see the air response from Kelch, and it is swift and immediate, picking off those gunships without too much of without them getting too much damage in. Now, while we were looking at this, there has also been some movement in the south, with Windrunner currently moving his army on Pikaman, and as you can see, he is actually using the Mongoose as they are intended, keeping them at a range in the back, and leaving his T1 spam to get picked off first. Though, yeah, that actually looks... Oh, well, looks like Pikaman was attempting a tag snipe that didn't go to plan, as that tag launcher didn't actually get loaded even before dying off. Well, that's a bit of mess he won't be getting back, since the army from Windrunner is just continuously advancing and not really facing a whole lot of opposition. Yeah, that's not looking good for Pikaman, but also Windrunner immediately getting up a land factory, presumably for the nice reclaim field of, I'm guessing that's about 2k reclaim or something like that. Yes, I have disabled the reclaim bunching because I'm not used to it, so I can't really make much of it. I know I could probably just get used to it, but I kind of prefer this reclaim thing, and yes, I know it's a lot of overlap, but that's why I actually have the reclaim counter. Which apparently works normally if I don't show reclaim, but doesn't work if I show reclaim. I have to click it sometimes when it updates. But yeah, there's a whole 8k reclaim, of which Rehackles seems to be getting some of it. And Stealth currently going up for Couch, who is sitting at 1 vet, while Rehackles has reinforced his base with some Oblivion turrets. And a Strat Bomber for an Ambassador for Fleischesser. Well, that looks like it got heavy damage, but also it got 2k mass killed, so that seems like a worthwhile investment. Now T3R also out for Rowie for quite some time now, considering there are some already 4 ASF out for him, though his ASF numbers are somewhat lacking compared to Fleischesser, who is currently sitting on... is that like 10? 9, okay. Sitting on 9 ASF, so Rowie would need some quite good turns to actually deal with that. Also, Oblivion turrets going up by Rowie, trying to fend off Couch, who is now getting to the point where T2 reinforcements are making their way up to the front. And he is continuing to push, picking off an Oblivion turret, and yeah, falling back because most of his forces still got picked off by Team 2. Now a T1 run by from Pikaman, going up on this little plateau, probably... nope, getting pulled back instead. I'm guessing that run by was expected to go somewhere around here, but Windrunner has seen it and is already moving in units to defend that little corner here where units could run by. And as such, Pikaman is also now, with his units out of place, is now getting pushed back into his main base. Most importantly though, Windrunner's com just strolling up, picking off units with overcharges, and Pikaman currently not really in a good position. That's not looking good for Team 1, Team 2 I mean. I'm gonna keep messing those team numbers up again and again throughout this whole cast. I can already see it. But Spectre gunships by Rowie currently putting some damage on Windrunner, forcing him to fall back as most of his, or almost all of his supporting army has been decimated, and Pikaman already out with the T2 NGs ready to reclaim whatever they can get their hands on. And currently those Spectre gunships are still not really facing. Never mind, here come the ASF by Fleischesser, picking them off swiftly. And they got Windrunner down to yellow health at maybe 8.5k, but never mind, without a level of vet, he is only reliant on his... Oh, that was a attempted Corsair snipe on Pikaman, but I'm guessing he got somewhat saved by his shield upgrade and some dodging skills, because those Corsairs still got picked off for the most part, with one of them remaining, and Pikaman having to dance his way around that fighter bomber. But yeah, Windrunner now slowly getting back up to full health with his nano repair upgrade, and that Corsair is still going to her. Oh, that Corsair just got picked off by a T2 flag installation. Well then, here we have another ambassador. That's a new one because it hasn't killed anything yet, but I'm guessing it's going for some eco damage. Probably, maybe not. I don't know, I can't see. Oh, that looks bad, however, with Fleischesser or having Roy in an airlock, having his ASF circling around the air factory of Roy, and the ambassador killing off a T3 P-Gen before getting picked off by Sans. Pikaman now able to resist the T1 and T2 forces by Windrunner with some Harbingers out from his side, so he's going straight to T3 army, having skipped most of T2 for his forces. And if he gets up a sufficient amount of Harbingers, those T2 forces by Windrunner won't be doing a whole lot. Now, as for the top, it seems the stalemate continues, with Vipers being spammed out by Kelch, trying to break the firebase, which, to his disappointment, is all Aeon, with a lot of volcanoes to fend off all those missiles. And yeah, volcanoes are just really strong because they just redirect missiles, meaning that even though cyber missiles split up when shot down, they don't actually get shot down, they just land somewhere else in the countryside. And there are also some miasmas in the mix that for vehicles that are probably trying to get some damage on the units of Windrunner, though I can't seem to see them firing at the moment, so I'm not exactly sure what that's about. Do they have vision? Ah, well, that could be the problem, as they do not appear to have had radar vision of this force, meaning that they weren't actually able to successfully target a whole lot. Though the miasmas now seem to be targeted on taking out the Vipers, which seems like a good idea since those units are the only ones currently putting any sort of munition into that firebase. An upgrade going up for Fleischesser, I'm not actually sure what that is. Left arm, is that... Goddamn, I keep forgetting. Give me a second. Alright, it's the T3 upgrade. Right. Okay. So Fleischesser going for T3 on his comm. Maybe just trying to get up some Cerberus turrets in the front or something like that, though there hasn't actually been any attempt at firebasing from Team 1 in this position, so I somewhat doubt it. Also now Kalic coming out with his first bricks, so this whole stalemate is probably gonna turn into a T3 fight, with T3 units overwhelming the amount of PD that has been set up. We'll have to wait and see. Now then, how are things going on the south? Well, as far as I can tell, Pikaman has everything under control with some hobbies, though there are already some Titans with parashield assistance out for Windrunner, though those Titans aren't exactly the best way to counter hobbies, I guess. Though it would be much worse if Pikaman were to, I don't know, mix in some asylums or something, just to bolster the damage soaking potential of his force. Now, while there seems to be a bit of a... Oh. Alright, I'm just gonna notice strats whenever they get shot down, apparently. So, yeah, there was apparently a strat flying over Pikaman, taking a hit at his shield, but not actually bringing it down. Either way, air control still seems like it's firmly in the hand of Team 1, with Rowie only sitting on 17 ASF, while Fleisch Esser is sitting on 23. So, though parking his ASF directly near some Redeemers doesn't seem like the best of ideas, so maybe this will even out some of the air advantage that Team 1 has. Eco-wise, Team 1 is currently sitting about 16k mass ahead of Team 2 with an income advantage that is, once again, still somewhat negligible, only flickering up and down because of Reclaim. Now then, this force out by Windrunner is, as far as I am able to tell, probably capable of overrunning those mere 7 Harbingers or whatever that is. But something that, if it's finished, will definitely be able to take on an army of that size is the Galactic Colossus that is currently being built by Pikaman, who is probably putting most of his... Never mind, there is quite a bit of assistance on that factory. Okay, who is still putting some assistance on that GC with a... Yeah, I don't know. A bit of build power. And with his 159 eco, that might only take a couple more minutes to finish. Harbingers for Pikaman running in and immediately finding themselves in a position they have to retreat from, which, to be fair, takes advantage of their superior range compared to those pillars and also Titans. Now in we apparently have some... Okay, so there's just T1 units patrolling around, with NGs trying to get some reclaim. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, there's just NGs marching to their death, trying to reclaim the wrecks of past NGs. Something interesting though, this plateau, or, well, I mean, is it a plateau? No, it's a valley actually. This valley has been, well, It hasn't been contested that much since there's no actual strategic value other than a separate path through the map on the southern side. But Rory has decided to at least get some units on the field, throwing up some flares to just take a look around, maybe pick up some straggling engineers or parked ASF or something, and overall be a nuisance to deal with. Now then, how's Team 1 looking in terms of building their own experimentals? Well, it looks like Windrunner has started a Fat Boy. That is, however, going up somewhat slowly, so if my mind serves me correctly, since I have actually watched this replay before, sped up to make sure there are no desyncs or something like that, the GC will still finish first, especially with the amount of assistance that is currently put on it by Pika Man. Now, I hope my zooming has been a bit less frantic than on my last cast, and at least I hope that even if it wasn't less, even if the amount of zooming wasn't lessened by that much, it was more visually appealing by a reduced amount of scroll speed, because yeah, I'm really sorry if you maybe got a bit of motion sickness from that. And as I watched back that video, I did notice what was meant by, yeah, frantic zooming. And Roy has just finished Raz on his comm, putting him up at 217 eco, with him being the first one in this entire game to stably cross the 200 eco mark. Watch me be wrong on that, and someone else actually having crossed it before but dropping back down due to, I don't know, stalling or a max getting shot down or something like that. But that also now puts Team 2 at an eco advantage of maybe 60-ish mass, 70-ish mass per second, meaning that with them having now a slight advantage on total mass collected with, like, what's that? 4K mass. So once again, somewhat a bit of parity in terms of collected mass, and I'm guessing that GC is about to make its way up. Yes, indeed it is, just finishing the paint as it seems, and with that, the forces of Windrunner will run into very, very heavy resistance. Now, will there just be a second GC queued up right afterwards, or apparently not? Rehackles going for the heavy shield on his comm. Getting some survivability seems like a great idea at this point, since we are at the point where a saved up strat snipe could be a possibility, especially with the southern team. Wait, no, actually I think Rowie has caught up on air, meaning that the southern team is actually sitting on quite a strong air force. Let's have a count of that. So 60 ASF for Rowie and 65 for Fleischesser, but also Couch has some of his own, so actually number-wise Team 1 is still in a better position when it comes to air. And the GC now making its way up to the army of Windrunner, which is frantically retreating as the first reclaim NGs are already getting picked off, meaning that the GC will be shortly in range to just pick up and scrunch up some bricks. Wait, no, Percivals. My bad. And it seems like Kelch has had enough with those flares running around the middle plateau and has sent some bricks to take care of that. Also a single trebuchet, which will probably take position somewhere along somewhere along here, to maybe lay some damage into the main base of Rehekels. Never mind, it's retreating, probably because the miasmas of that fire base have just found a nice target in those units, making their way up this barren field. Overall, the stalemate on the northern side continues, and it seems that the Fat Boy for Windrunner is just finished and ready to roll out and lay some fire into the GC. And Rehekels are coming up behind Pikaman with some sniper bots and Redeemers just to pick off any oncoming units at a range, which currently consists of Reclaim NGs, as it seems. And here we have it. The GC has just made landfall into the... Sorry, it's maybe a bit loud. The GC has just made landfall into... Okay, fine, not really landfall, but it has marched its way into the middle of the enemy army, picking it off with ease, while getting pelted by the Fat Boy at the same time, so the GC will still go down. So yeah, I'm not sure. Was it worth it? It got a whole 19k mass killed, but in the end it got killed by a Fat Boy, leaving the Fat Boy now at about 11k mass killed and climbing, while it's taking out on those Harbingers that are still pushing forward. The supporting Strat Bomber for Team 1 has now been shot down, and it seems that those Harbingers are trying to get a stab at the shield of the Fat Boy, but I doubt they will get through. So with the Fat Boy falling back and some Percivals out for assistance from Windrunner, it seems like this push has gone mostly in favor of Team 1, with them now having a nice bit of reclaim in form of a GC on their front porch, as well as the entire army of Windrunner and most of the army of Pikaman as well to reclaim. I mean, sure, they still have to reclaim all that mass, but it's mass they can just sneakily pick up nevertheless, since it is behind their defensive lines, more or less. Rowie currently building a Tsar and is almost done with it. That's gonna be interesting. And also at 36 minutes, let's have a quick look at the bases. Any SMD, any SMD. Well, that's just TMD. As far as I can tell, no noticeable SMD on the southern side. Oh, but there is a nuke launcher out for Pikaman that is currently 64% built. And Rehackle is currently also building his own GC, while the Tsar for Rowie has just finished. Let's have a quick peek at Team 1. Is there anything to maybe stop that nuke? Have they maybe gotten wind of it, even though it's only being built at the corner of the map? Well, I have no idea, but it seems like Fleischesser has at least built a preemptive nuke SMD, which as of the moment is still not loaded, however. Well, halfway loaded, and as long as he's not mass stalling, which... well, here we go. He's stalling for basically his entire economy, so that nuke defense will maybe take a while to load if he doesn't get that under control anytime soon. I'm talking out of experience here because I have way too much experience with me building SMD and not actually loading it because my eco balance is completely terrible. Yeah, I know, not the thing to brag about. Just putting it out there that, yeah, I'm bad at eco balance, and Fleischesser is probably doing way better in terms of eco balance than I ever could. On the topic of eco balance, however, how is it with reclaim energies? Well, not a whole lot out by him, but on the other hand, we have quite a bit of reclaiming going on by both Kelch and Windrunner on the southern side, where that GC rack still lays, and where also some of the army reclaim is still available. Though there is by now probably quite a bit of reclaim that has been gobbled up. Now the Tsar for Rowie. Currently, it's really weird that such a huge thing just pops out of vision if zoomed out enough. I mean, look at the size of that selection box, and yet it's still invisible other than the strategic icon. But hey, I mean, that's what you get from an old game. Can't have all the rendering be up to date, since, you know, there have to be some limits, and at this for zoomed out, having only strategic icons makes a bit of sense. Yeah, these are currently just sitting around as probably aerial point defense. And another experimental out by... Well, another experimental out by Rowie, this time AGC. And another Fat Boy out by Windrunner, and also, I'm guessing one of those experimentals was... Well, never mind. Pika apparently getting gifted the GC by Rowie, and also having currently 2 GCs of his own, 4 GCs if you count the one that's currently building, or rather is almost built. So yeah, that seems like a force that is to be reckoned with, and the Tsar goes down for Rowie, who has now the difficult task to fight off 2 players with superior ASF numbers in air, and yeah, it seems like pulling back is a reasonable idea at this point, because that way you can at least take advantage of the SAMs you have built. And while there are still some losses of ASF, they fall down over friendly territory and are thus easily reclaimed. Windrunner now getting up a second push with 2 Fat Boys, and there's the 4th GC for Pika Man, just yearning to take on the Fat Boys. And as far as I remember, there was oh right, yeah, that was probably the experimental that I missed. A Megalith out from Kelch, going to join those forces and probably going to do some serious damage on this firebase. Rory currently pinging out the SMDs in to have a nice target for the nuke launcher, and SMD going up for rehackles. Might as well have a forward SMD, I guess. Even though the enemy doesn't have a confirmed nuke, can't be too careful, because if they have a nuke and you just don't know about it, that's also a bad idea, or a huge problem rather. And here we have some GCs just happily hoovering up some T2 and T3 units, with Harbingers in the back just taking on some Fat Boy fire, and also putting out a little bit of fire support for the GCs. Yeah, this seems like the right call to have the Fat Boys falling back, because if they get into range of the GCs, they are done for, pretty much. Exactly, he's got 4 GCs. And on the topic of gunships, well, it doesn't seem like they have a whole, like Team 1 has a whole lot of gunships, but there are currently 8 strats out for Fleischesser that could at least do something to those GCs, though there are quite a few Redeemers in there, not to say that like half the army of Pika-Man is just consisting of Redeemers. One GC goes down, with the remaining ones being still quite healthy and picking off the first Fat Boy in turn, and the advance continuing, though now there also are some Whalers out for Kelch to pick off the second GC and put some damage into the remaining 2 GCs. On the north side, where's that? Well, there's that Megalith up on the front, having killed 600 mass, probably just reclaim engines and stuff. Though it is now firing into the army of Rehekels, who has to fall back, and let me have a quick look at where the hell that ping was. Yes, okay, fine. Team 1 has also now not. Team 1 is now also getting on the nuke train with their own nuke, though it got immediately spotted even before it has the chance to finish. And the advance for Team 2 continues, with the second Fat Boy going down and 2 GCs being still up and running, one of which is due to get a rank of veterancy anytime now. There we go. And another Fat Boy just finished and died immediately. So it looks like Windrunner is about to lose most of his base. If not to the GCs, maybe to the follow-up force by Pika-Man. As for the nuke, well, let's have a quick check and see that one nuke is loaded, the second nuke is half loaded, and also Rowie already out with his own nuke launcher and starting work on an emissary. Well, this is gonna be an interesting game, I tell you. And also an Eye of Rian, because if you have all Aeon, why not go for the sneaky eye?
Strategic launch detected.
And here comes the nuke out from Pika-Man, going, who knows where. Going... yeah, it's going. Well, it seems to be going for the base of Windrunner, since the GCs have gotten bored and just moved on to the base of Kelch. Picking off some Rast Zakus on the way, but also now down to 1 GC on half health, though on almost full vet. So that GC has definitely gotten its money worth. But there is also a defending Megalith out from Kelch. And without an SMD in Windrunner's base, the nuke lands, leaving Team 1 with now 668 mass, opposing to 1.1k mass income from Team 2. Now, because 2 nukes weren't enough, there's also a third nuke launcher out from Rehekels, because everyone needs a nuke man. And also Rehekels with 2 SMD and also just an SMD out for Pika-Man, because enemy has a nuke, so yeah, definitely needed. Also a second one for his nuke launcher, and Rory also with his own SMD on his nuke launcher. Any other standoff tech that I am not yet aware of? No, but I mean, we've got 3 nuke launchers and an emissary being built at fairly low speed, with Rory only putting his commander to it. That, however, is still quite a bit of nukage.
Strategic launch detected.
With the second nuke out from Pika-Man going for the front of Kelcher's base. I don't know what he's actually expecting to nuke there, but I guess it's about the message. And the firebase for Team 2 has finally been broken with that Megalith getting 2 ranks of vet and some supporting Vipers and 1 remaining supporting Brick. Followed up by 2 Trebuchets. Yeah, I'm not sure what that nuke got, like 1 SAM launcher and a T1 factory maybe. Either way, that seems like a bit of a wasted nuke. But it was a nuke that landed, right? Yeah, it wasn't a wasted nuke. And now some strats out for Roe, trying to pick off that Megalith, but there's already ASF from Catch on his back, so the strats won't get many more turns. Though Couch is also now about to lose his ASF to Roe's far superior numbers. And I'm not sure what happened to the ASF numbers. I guess Team 1 just stopped building them or something. Because Roe is currently, after this fight, sitting on 137 ASF, while Fleischesser is currently only sitting on 120 ASF. So there is quite a bit of disparity there, and that can even be exacerbated by the fact that, also Roe apparently tried to mercy the Megalith, but I guess the mercies came in too late to actually do something, with the Megalith getting picked off by, I suppose, mostly strats. But yeah, the disparity of the ASF numbers can be exacerbated if Roe manages to pull the ASF of Team 1 over their bases, because there is a lot of SAMs stemming from the earlier disadvantages of ASF in terms of ASF numbers. But at this point we are once again on a bit of a slow part of the game, and the Mercies, having nothing else to do, just picked off a nice bunch of T1 army, overkilling like all of the racks, leaving only 1 strike on low health and 45 reclaim over there, so, or 2 racks at 45 reclaim. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to be actually gained from that army with no reclaim remaining. Now the nuke launcher for Fleischesser is currently in the process of loading, only at 70% done, and he has built an experimental unit. I am assuming that to be exactly a fat boy. Overall though, a Megalith, a fat boy, and another Megalith for Team 1, with a single GC for Team 2. Yeah, sure. But I think if Team 2 notices those units coming up, they probably have the eco to rush out some more GCs in rapid succession, because they have the eco. Also, the nuke launcher for Rehackles halfway done, or halfway loaded, and not even fired. He hasn't even fired his first nuke and is already building his second launcher. Well, that's some ballsy play. Just nukes all the way, and also an emissary now building for Pikaman, getting up to 2 emissaries, and or 2 emissaries being built, and a total of 4 nuke launchers. Which is to say that Team 2 is really going for the standoff tech, putting all their eco into, or probably most of their eco into standoff tech, and if that works out, that's gonna be great. If it doesn't, then, well, it doesn't. Also, with less fighting, I'm just gonna bump up the volume a little bit. A little tiny bit. Because I don't know, when there's fighting, it's a bit loud the way I had it set up at the beginning of the cast, and when there's no fighting, it's maybe a bit quiet. Like, a bit too quiet. I don't know, like, audio levels are the thing that I really can't get a handle on
Strategic launch detected.
because you record something and then you... I'm gonna bump it up a bit more. You record something, you notice the audio levels are unsatisfactory, you try to compensate and it still doesn't work out the way you want it to. I'm guessing that nuke out from Rory is going for either this base or that this army. Looks like it's going just... Nope. It's going far, it's going far, it's going far. It got this base in its entirety. And Couch just now going tele-snipe with Mazer already... Oh wait, that's the normal gun upgrade. He's going tele-snipe and another nuke out on Windrunner's old base, where there has already been a nuke just trying to pick off the rebuild maxes, I guess. And another fat boy for Fleischesser, and another nuke out from, this time from Rehackles, going for, yeah, this outpost, I guess. If it's going for that, I'm gonna be sad. Okay, fine. It's going for this plateau. Just all the nukes today. And that's a nice assist formation. Like, all those units are just assisted on the Fat Boy, impeding its movement because the whole unit pathing has to take into account that those units have to move out of the way of the Fat Boy, but they are trying to stay around the Fat Boy nevertheless, so that's gonna slow down the advance of that Fat Boy a little bit. And the counter nuke out from Fleischesser, going for those maxes with mass flaps around them. So he's gonna pick up... Well, we can check how much mass that picked up, but it's definitely picked up quite a bit of eco advantage in that sort. Yep, that was 25k mass just from one nuke. But we now have the first emissary shells landing, and Couch just finished his tele-snipe upgrades, still building more megaliths, and I don't know, is he teleporting? I don't think he's teleporting. His comm isn't... I'd have to rotate the map, and I'm not gonna get that right again. And Rory, just as Couch finishes his tele upgrade, is calling out that they need tele defense with a shit ton of tele defense around his missile launcher and emissary, though teleporting like here would still work, I guess. And Fleischesser calling out the GC as the second emissary finishes, putting Team 2 at 4 nukes, 2 T3 arties, with Team 1 sitting at 1 nuke, and if that arty shell lands within those... Nope, the arty shell lands off map. And another push out from Couch, trying to maybe gain some ground. We'll have to see how that goes. And this seems like an air fight about to be brewing. Oh yeah, that's definitely an air fight that's happening, but Rory seems to have the superior ASF numbers, so We'll have to see how that turns out, if all those Spectre gunships actually get to pick off the Fat Boys and the surrounding army, or if they have to stay in the back for a while until that airfight situation has been dealt with. And continuously, even more Zaku's just going up in flames, because why not? And I completely missed it. Couch tried his tele snipe and he died. I completely missed it. I think he tallied in next to the he tallied in next to Pickerman, but got picked off by Oblivion turrets. I'm sorry, I kinda missed that. Either way, that means Couch is out of the game, and that leaves Team 1 with only 2 players and most of the map control. But there's a GC out for Team 2, picking off those advancing bricks, and another 2 GCs out for Team 2, with a third one joining in, picking off those advancing units down there. And Roy sends another nuke, this time... not sure. Probably into the main base of Windrunner, prior the main base of Kelch, because it seems that the SMD has gotten picked off by T3RT. And never mind, there was still an SMD up, so the nuke didn't land, but the RT bombardment continues, and the GCs have gotten into effective range of the Megalith, making it really difficult for Team 1 to actually stand their ground and gain a whole lot out of that. But one Megalith going down, in turn one GC going down, and the second Megalith taking heavy fire at the moment. Also, the second Megalith is under fire by some strats, so it probably won't survive that much longer. There we go. So Team 1 just lost 2 GCs in that engagement. Team 2 lost 2 GCs, Team 1 lost 2 Megaliths and a lot of their army. Also another Megalith in the back, now being stared down by 2 more GCs and some Harbingers laying fire into that. Definitely not a good position for Team 1 to be in. Just having dumped a whole lot more reclaim into the lap of Team 2. In turn with their advantage on, with Team 2's advantage on standoff tech and in the shape of their T3RT. As far as I remember, there was also like a T3RT being built by... there was a third T3RT somewhere, going up somewhere. Right, it's going up for Pika-Man. There we go.
Strategic launch detected.
And I just heard the nuke launcher loading, firing when I zoomed in. Vehicles just firing another nuke, trying to exhaust the enemy SMD. If it's still alive, we'll have to see in a second. And the nuke gets, once again, shut down by this SMD, which is now empty. So is this SMD. And is there another SMD around here? Somewhere, nowhere. Nope. So this nuke is probably going to land, and it's, if I saw that correctly, it's going to land right on top of Fleisch Esser. Well, more or less, like around here. So yeah, Team 1 has somewhat lost this game. And there goes Fleisch Esser, and Team 1 actually got a Duke that has probably been sitting there for a bit, maybe. But in the end, it didn't do a whole lot. Oh, Right, there is an emissary out for vehicles. So we're looking at 4 nukes, 3 operational emissaries, a 4th one being built.
Strategic launch detected.
And yeah, a 3-on-1 with high advantage on many nukes. That SMD is loaded, so the nuke won't land, but there's also now a strat snipe out from Rory after the ASF for Team 1 got picked off, I'm guessing by maybe the nuke explosion or something else. And the never-ending barrage of nukes will make short work of Team 1, or Windrunner as last remaining member of Team 1, if the strats don't get there first. I'm guessing that was just a Zaku explosion, but... Oh, and that nuke got once again shot down, this time last second. But yeah, so far it looks like it's somewhat over. Now, where is Windrunner's ACU even sitting? His ACU is sitting right there in the middle of his base, and stuff keeps going up in flames, and I don't know where. Oh. Well, might be some P-gens and things being under fire by the Duke. So yeah, the second emissary for vehicles is not gonna... Okay, the first one, emissary for vehicles went down. But there are still 2 emissaries on the field, and vehicles was also building a second one that is still under construction, even though it got hit and slightly reduced in HP. And more experimentals out from Roy, or another experimental. Would you look at that? Another GC. I think at this point we are just looking at a slow-moving train wreck, and I'm just waiting for it to come to a full stop. There's actually a second Duke out for Team 1, so parity on artillery has been achieved, but Team 2 has HEC advancing over here, HEC advancing over here, a total of 4 more GCs following up behind, and an eco advantage of almost 400 mass per second. As well as maybe the nuke launchers, if I'm not mistaken, of which currently... Oh! Of which currently only 2 are left alive, since both nuke launchers for vehicles got shot down with the Duke. And that's the GC that was walking around here wreaking havoc. And yeah, I'm just gonna bump up the game speed now because there's not a whole lot more to talk about. And I think here we have the finishing move with the emissaries weakening the shields and the strat snipe coming in for the kill. Not making it on their first turn, but there are more strats coming in, and there we have it. Wait, no, that was a... There we have it. That was just a second. There we have it, guys and gals. this game has finally come to an end that has been foreseeable for the past 15 minutes or so now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the cast, and I hope to see you all in maybe a stream or the next cast I do or something along those lines. Until then, bye!